Guys, welcome. Final and last full moon of 2018. Are we ready? Welcome to a random hotel room in the middle of nowhere, you can say. I'm here in my thermals. It's absolutely freezing in London. I don't know where half of my stuff is. The Gatwick shenanigans have been great fun. As most of you know, I have been enjoying a little bit of time outside of London. And we've got back and we hit this madness that's been going on in Gatwick. Let me know what your thoughts are about all of that. But yeah, I wanted to put together a little Cancer full moon musings. I know I've been pretty consistent with new moon, full moon videos. Thank you guys so much for your love, for your support, for your consistent encouragement, and your dedication to me. Thank you so much for the commitment and the devotion that you guys have given me that has helped get me here. 2019 is going to be such a fabulous year. And I think after all of these eclipses, all of these retrogrades, all of this chaotic energy that we've had for the past 5 months, it'll be quite nice to use this really highly emotionally charged, really emotionally dense full moon to set a bit of time aside and let's have a little informal chit-chat. My musings of perhaps a year so far, what this full moon means for me, and maybe you can take away something from this and see if it can help you in any sort of way. So, Cancer full moon. All the feels. All of the feels. The resentments. The real love. The intensity of it all. Almost as if you're being pulled in all of these many different directions with no clear direction of, no clear train of thought. I mean, you love someone 1 minute, you absolutely hate them the next. You know, things are fantastic 1 minute, next thing you know, all hell's broken loose. Everyone's broken out into an argument. But who can we judge? Who can we be angry with? It's all this emotion. And it's necessary emotion because it is taking this period, those last very few days before we get even into the celebrations, the festive celebrations, and using this time to allocate certain, stagnating emotions and feelings that we have towards certain things, the way that we have, felt, and it's all hitting us now, and how do we deal with this? How do we process this? What do we do with all of this surge of emotion? I mean, it's all the feels, isn't it? It's really just all the feels. And where does one go with this? It's pretty clear. We're all headed towards 2019, and you either sort it out now or you let it pull you back. One great thing about full moon is that it does bring out the crazies. It does bring out all of the feels. It does bring out all of the emotions. But it gives us that opportunity to acknowledge what is really going on beneath the surface. To really feel what it is that we have held a lid on. And the boiling pot's come over now. It's coming up. It's going to boil over. And unless we don't, switch down the heat in a timely manner, it can get chaotic. Let it be an organized boil over. So much to talk about. This year was such a roller coaster, and it had its parallels, living your best life but living your worst life at the same time. But with it, so many valuable lessons, and I hope one of those valuable lessons for me personally has been how important it is to maintain quality. Some of the other years, 2016, 2017, a lot of quantity, a lot of things coming into our lives, a lot of things that are wanting to be present, new influences, new friends, new, opinions, new ideas. It has all been an influx. It's all been things that have been thrown at us, things to take on board, things to consider, new forms and modalities of thinking. And I think as we exit 2018, it's really now filtering out, before everything boils over, what necessarily needs to stay in the pot and what it is that we can just set aside. And it really needn't be so overly complicated. It can really be as simple as, it's time to go. And we kind of have to take responsibility of that. It is time to say goodbye. And goodbyes for me, Scorpio, 11th house and 12th house, is, Jesus, it's so hard. I'm a Virgo. We really love. But being able to discern when things no longer are good for you and they turn into that grayscale. And we don't need to live in the grayscale anymore. I think 2019 is going to shoot off with some pretty epic eclipses. But if we know one thing, there's no Venus in retrograde all throughout 2019. There's no Mars in retrograde all throughout 2019. So in terms of love, in terms of career, we know it's going to be a solid year if only we learn to deal with the feels right now. Position and place things exactly where they need to be. Clear mind, clear heart, clear focus. Moving forward. Talking about focus, I don't have my lights, so if the sound is a bit off, if the lighting's not great, I'm here. I showed up, I'm present. And I think we should make a thing of this full moon. Let's show up, let's be present. We're here, together. Christmas is around the corner. Time of rejoicing, time of coming together, time of bringing everyone together. Be present. It is so easy to get lost in the hang-ups, the emotional heaviness, this tidal wave that is just threshing and threshing and threshing at our mind, at our heart, and it's like a continual wave of pounding, pounding, pounding. But beat it out. Let it be threshed out. Deal with it now. Don't take it into 2018. Don't bring it to the Christmas table. You know? It's a good time to put things to rest finally. People, situations, places. I myself find myself somewhere completely new. But what a fabulous way to join the new year. Think of what you can do that symbolizes renewal. That symbolizes the birth of new things. That symbolizes the idea of being born again. Where is it that we can now take off that shell that we've been wearing, that we may have grown out of, and maybe slip into something a little bit better for us, something with a little bit more room, something that won't feel so confining, and something that won't feel necessarily as suffocating anymore. And I think you can use that as a great metaphor for emotional ways and emotional patterns that 2018 may have pushed us into. Letting it go so we can move forward into something that is ideally a lot more comfortable. Growing pains are painful without sounding simple, but what doesn't break you makes you stronger. Relish in the fact that this is a process of growth, and with growth comes great strength. Show up for yourself this full moon now more than ever. I think we've got to remain within this concept, this Cancerian concept of space and boundaries. Taking the time out to assess the way we feel, to feel the way we feel, can really be done in a thorough and a proper way if we're allowing ourselves that space, that time out to get out of the friction zone, the war zone, or even, it doesn't need to be as extravagant or as dramatic as that, but allowing oneself that healthy space, I think, has been one of 2018's biggest lessons. Like, life will throw you plenty of curveballs, but if you've given yourself enough of an opportunity, 2018, stay hydrated, right? If we're allowing ourselves that space, if we're allowing ourselves that room to see where it is that we are growing, what it is we no longer resonate with, what it is that we're no longer feeling, or what it is that's still weighing quite heavy on us, gives us very good ideas of where our boundaries are and where our boundaries should be. Personal time is what allows growth, and feeling okay with being alone, I think this full moon is going to be such a valuable lesson. Being able to be alone and being able to be okay with being alone. Knowledge of self-worth and the importance of knowing that this is okay for me and this is no longer acceptable for me. And it is in that this is no longer acceptable for me that you then create a lucrative path towards 2019. And when I said back in the Sagittarius videos, now is the time for you to, the Sagittarius new moon video, that now is the time for you to make your New Year's resolution, at least now, hopefully you will have a good understanding as to the direction that you want to go into. But giving yourself the permission to have your boundaries, to have your personal time, to establish the idea of self-knowledge. Know what's important to you. Know what is triggering you. Understand why it's triggering you. And the key of doing that, truly, for me, has been taking that space. Allowing yourself to be okay with being alone with yourself. And when I say okay, it's not a matter of just being alone, away from people. It's so much more than that. It is allowing yourself the peace of knowing that this is me. I'm okay. I'm chilling. It's okay up here. It's okay up here. This is home. Okay, this is home. Cancer is very much about home and heart. Make this home good. Let this be a path that you take 2019 into. Letting this home be the home that is the most comfortable place to be. Because ultimately we all have to come home. We all have to come home to ourselves. What is it that you are finding difficult to accept? What is it that you are no longer in a situation to accept? The key to surviving all of that, however, is in being okay with being you. Cancer, full moon, if you need to shed that old, that's okay. Take off the old home, put in the new home. You might feel better for it. Changes. So many changes this new year is going to bring. You know, and it's funny because 2018 really did teach me too. Time is such an illusional concept. It's such an illusion. Time is an illusion. Time, how you spend it, how you wish it to durate is entirely up to you. And the minute you believe that, the minute you decide to yourself, I've got this new business, I've got this creative project, I'm going to do all of this, and I don't have to do it, and it has to just be done there and then, allow yourself the recognition of each step of it. Each step is progress as long as you're heading in the right direction. What is the right direction? Nobody can know that other than you. And until you're not allowing yourself the freedom to celebrate yourself and understand it, this concept of where you're getting and the time it takes you to get there is entirely in your hands. Celebrate yourself. Give yourself permission to breathe. Give yourself permission to not be so caught up in the nets of society. Stop looking at what's going on around you. It's not important. What is really important is where you are and what you're doing and how it takes you to get there. And the psychology behind your motives, why it is that you're doing what you're doing, and for what reason you feel the need to rush. Cancers do this thing, like we're all sideways, but we're not actually moving anywhere. The journey doesn't necessarily need to be a linear journey. It can be like, oh, I'm going to chill here for a little bit. Oh, I think I'll learn a valuable lesson if I hang out here for a little bit. It is in motion. Don't stay stagnant. Motion is key. You know, this full moon, I feel, has a lot to do with love. And I think a lot of our nearest and dearest relationships will get tested this full moon. And I think it is pretty safe to say that some of the toughest lessons come from those you love the most. Those you love the most. Friends, siblings, partners, parents, business relations, social media influencers, favorite presidents, prime ministers. Weighing out those lessons. Be objective, yes, but remain in a place of being grateful. And don't be stingy with love. This for me really is such an important time, I think, to let bygones be bygones, to let people go, but to really forgive people for what you may feel like was an injustice. You know, forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big thing. Let's be more forgiving. Let's not take shit, but forgiveness. It is so important for your health, your peace of mind, your personal development. And, you know, this full moon's going to bring up a lot of stuff. Like, you know, such and such did this, I felt like this, such and such did, blah, 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 like. Letting go and saying let it go is so easy, but if you're imagining like being a little crab with your pinches and you're pulling along all this weight and you're moving sideways, like you're only going to slow yourself down. Really and truly, you're only going to slow yourself down. Do yourself a favor. However you can make peace with it, do that. Let yourself move more freely up here and here. One of my videos, I think it was a Scorpio one where we were talking about drawing in a soulmate, drawing in love, drawing in a partner. I spoke about a love call, a heart call. And after making the video, I watched the video again and I thought, you know, it's really important for me to say something about how important it is to make a heart call for ourselves sometimes. And I think this is really the best time for it. You know, who loves, like, Cancerians? Cancerians are, we're not talking about being lovers, like physical lovers, but actual concept of love. You can learn a lot from a Cancerian when it comes to, like, the actual concepts of love. Make a heart call to yourself. What does that mean? What do I mean by that? If we're to talk about forgiveness, if we're to talk about letting go, if we're to talk about, you know, moving on from things, if we're to talk about, like, people hurting our feelings and hurting us or not feeling as if we're respected or valued the way that we should be because we know how much love that we've put out there. I myself am one of these people. It hurts and it's damn painful, but really and truly, until you don't make peace in your mind about the situation, it'll remain there. And it's carrying dead weight. It's like living in that shell that's too tight. It's like not being able to breathe because you're entirely suffocated. And it is in that suffocation where you don't get enough oxygen to your brain and you can't think right. Right? Time to start thinking right. Start thinking right. Start feeling right. And you know what? It's absolutely okay to do that for you. Because it's absolutely okay to start celebrating you. So if we're to, you know, take time as an illusion, if we are to understand that people hurt us, and there is always a lesson in it. Celebrate you. Use this full moon to celebrate you. Use this full moon to say, oh my God, I went through all of that and I survived it. I made it through. I did this. I celebrated this. I won this. I forgave this. Heartaches, hurts, tortures, torments. 2018, oh my God, so many lessons. So many like true colors came out. So many people like shooting themselves in the foot. You don't even need to do anything. Celebrate you. And what do I mean by celebrate you? Don't go out and get drunk because, hey, do that if you must. Go ahead and do that if you must. Celebrate you. Tell yourself, I'm okay where I am. I'm happy with what's going on with me right now. I'm happy with the way I feel. And if you're not feeling that way, make sure you get yourself in that place this full moon. Get in the bath, light some candles, get some salt. Smother yourself with some essential oils. And tell yourself how in love you are with yourself. And don't stop until you actually believe it. Because it's okay. It's okay to celebrate yourself. So celebrate yourself. Do that. You know, relationships, people, friendships, they come and go. You know, good things don't always last forever. But building solid foundations is absolutely key, okay? Regardless of however difficult those good things might stand a chance of lasting forever, build as solid a foundation as you can with every relationship. And I hope moving into 2019, everyone understands the importance of that, especially in a time of so much deception and so much lack of integrity going on in our government, and the pollution and the violence to animals and the cruelty and the destroying earth. Like, if we can at least allow ourselves to be built on a foundation that is firm on a moralistic ground, and we know that as long as we're moving in a right path, the direction towards as much right as we can do, we will influence others. We will be in a position to inspire others so that the bullshit that is surrounding us is no longer as just difficult to look at, or difficult to bear, or difficult to be around. Set an example. Build your foundations. Don't hold on to anything too tightly. You can't. There's no point. People have to come and go. It's like this slicing, rotating layers of different dimensions that we're living in, and it's going back to that whole thing, a time is an illusion. This is an unfortunate concept that we have been taught because it's part of a metric system that helps the world run. But you are very much entitled to make your own time. Within that time, make sure you are very much doing what it takes to be an example, a positive influence. Be a positive influence to yourself. Do right by yourself before you can even begin to dream of inspiring others. Spend that time by yourself. Drink that water. Go do that 20-minute jog. Pull yourself out of bed. Read a good book. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone you forgive them. Tell someone that it's okay. Drop it and let it be. Move on. You know, I'm a Virgo. And I love, without an arrogance, without, any of that shit. I love the fact that we're the Virgin and the Hermit. The youthful, boisterous Peter Pan energy, and then this, sage, isolated, just well of knowledge. One thing that I've really learned this year is that the best medicine really and truly can sometimes just being hermitude. That's the word I'm looking for. It can really be the best medicine to sometimes just pull yourself away from the chaos in order to be able to look down on it all the way up from your cave, bird's eye view it, and map everything out. Course your directions. Plan your route. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with being organized and making lists and keeping your mouth shut and staying away from the crazy crowd. There are those that absolutely relish in that shit, but then there are people like me who just love to be alone in our little hermit caves. And I swear to you, the amount of good that that can do you is just invaluable. It really is. It's really important, I think, to be able to take some time out for yourself and do that boundaries, personal time, knowledge of self-worth. Time is just an illusion. Spend that time up in that cave. Get to know yourself a lot better. Meditate. I've put so many friends on meditation this year and they're like, I love this. Time by yourself in that place is like liquid gold. It's like nectar from the heavens. And if you can love to be alone, you can love to be just about anywhere in the world and in any situation, and it won't mean anything. That doesn't mean to say that you need to isolate yourself completely, because there is no other better medicine other than hermitude than to be with good friends, sunshine. Life really gets no better. I reflect over summer and I met this, it's just hilarious, fucking crazy Scorpios. They're so much fun. Virgos and Scorpios, you know the chaos, right? I met the most hilarious Scorpio girl, and my relationship with a Pisces strengthened as well. And there's all this like water energy and this fiery sunny heat. And there was a Leo involved in the mix too, and a Gemini involved in the mix too. It was so much fun. And it was so many fun energies that were put together under the heat, under the London summer vibe, and it was refreshing. Make sure that you're spending time investing in the right people. Let go of whoever doesn't serve you. And if a relationship comes and it serves a certain purpose, let it go. You don't need to drag it out. And there doesn't need to be any hard feelings about it either. But value, cherish those good friends. Because, again, nothing better than quality. Fuck quantity. I see those people that have like all of these friends, and we all know they're not your friends. They're like barely even acquaintances. They're the people that are just around for a good time, which is why I say you don't need to have so many of them. Have a few of them, but make sure those are the ones are the ride or dies. Make sure they will be there when you need them. People, are funny. They move in funny ways. Make sure your movements are authentic. Make sure you're smart enough to say bye-bye to people whose moves aren't necessarily authentic. And if it so happens to rain on your parade, make sure your parade is a freaking rain dance. I swear to God, make the most of every situation you can. You have that power. You decide, I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to be in... No, actually, don't do that. A lot of people do this thing where they wake up and they decide for life to happen to them. Don't do that, 2019. Decide that you're going to happen to life. Wake up every morning. It's like that saying. What is that saying? A strong woman is... What is it? Even the devil is scared when she wakes up in the morning and she puts her foot down on the ground or something. I don't know. Find me that quote and put it down there. But decide, okay? You decide how your day is going to be every single day. And have zero tolerance for anything that is going to be the rain on your parade. And if it's unforeseen circumstances, make sure it's such an epic rain dance. Make 2019 the epic rain dance. Love. Back to this full moon. Back to the concept of love. And love, and I think Scorpio and Virgo really, and Gemini sort of really need to hear this message. I think Pisces too. It's okay to be vulnerable. Love comes as a result of knowing it's okay to be vulnerable. You don't always have to be so hard, or you don't always have to work so hard on love. Be vulnerable. And that's why I say take some time for yourself, because as long as you know that you're okay yourself, you'll meet someone who is on that energetic wavelength with you, that are okay with themselves, but that are also okay with you not being okay sometimes. And it's important to let down those guards. It's important to be vulnerable. It's important to believe that not every pattern is a repetitive cyclical pattern. I mean, where else would we be living life? We would just be hamsters on a hamster wheel. But we're not. It's just gotten dark. I noticed the change in the tone. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be in a position to expose those places of vulnerability to people without, having to be, like, emotionally imbalanced about it, which is, again, like, refer to the space, personal time, knowledge of self bit, but there is such a just a beauty in vulnerability. There is such an honesty in vulnerability, and I hope that 2019 everybody actively makes a stop and just a firm stop against this concept of the fuckboy or the fuckgirl. Like, that shit is ruining society so quickly. I was reading this article the other day about how the millennials treat their pets like their firstborns, and like shitty pet food is no longer, like, the sales are on a demise. Love each other, guys. Like, love your animals, yes, but pour that love into other people. And these concepts like Tinder and all these, like, socially degenerative apps that don't bring people together for anything other than, like, disease. I hope that people rise above that shit now. I hope you can see, like, how destructive those concepts are. And they should really just go. Authentic, real, substantial, honest love can bring so many merits that a dating app like Tinder perhaps can't. Get out there, be honest, be open, get out there, 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 get out there. I can't stress this enough. Be okay with yourself so that you know that you have to be part of this world, so that you know that you don't have to put on this, like, facade, this front, this, like, bullshit mask of, like, oh, I'm this tough super person. Like, no, you're not. Like, we're smarter than that now. Like, we all know we're, like, multidimensional beings. Honesty and integrity needs to be precedent 2019. That's where the love comes from. That's where the integrity comes from. That's where the authentic relationships will come from. That is where the soul is activated. Let's spend 2019 activating our souls, okay? Soul comes from touch. Skin on skin. Oh, like, it's feeling. It is, like, the pits of your belly kind of love. There's no point in reading all of these, like, love poems and being someone who posts these fanciful memes if you're not actively out there feeling. Letting yourself feel. Letting yourself forgive the shenanigans that went on when you didn't know better. We're on an endless evolutionary journey. We know more now. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018 hopefully got you to that place of mind where you know that 2019, you've got to put yourself out there. Don't play games. Playing game, you want to play swipe? Go on Tinder. Play some Tetris or whatever the game is. I don't watch TV. I don't play computer games. I'm not part of any of that shit. AI is scaring the fuck out of a lot of people, and I recently saw this thing where it was like all these robots killed all these people, and like, why are humans taking it that far? Like, why? What is that point? Let's all stop palm oil in 2019, okay? Let's stop developing AI. Let's stop allowing poachers to kill off our precious animals, to make everything extinct. Let's stop poachers. Let's stop palm oil. 2019, please awaken the activist in you. Awaken the feeling of worth, of value. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's make 2019 about that, okay? Let's save the ocean. Let's use the plastic that we have. Let's put a foot down on creating any more plastic. No more plastic, okay? Plastic should all come with an identity tag, so it can all be reclaimed, so we all know where it came from. So companies will be so much more careful in producing all of this like unnecessary plastic that is killing our animals, that is killing our earth. And if the earth is dead, okay, where the fuck are we meant to go? What are we meant to do? I want to have kids. You want to have kids. We all want to have kids that will at least live like more than 2 generations. This needs to stop. All this palm oil bullshit. Like, for fuck's sake, we know better now. Let's stop hurting animals, please. I'm going off into such a tangent, okay? This was the other thing. This was like the emotional attachment that 2018 brought me. I would get so emotionally wound up, and it is this full moon that is bringing all of that to the surface, where I'm like identifying things that really spark me. Like, I'm getting sparked by just talking about this. Nothing hurts me more than like children being hurt, women being hurt, people being cruel unnecessarily, like animals suffering pointlessly, things going, like animals going into extinction, wild, like forests being just eradicated for the capitalist degenerate. We all live in a society, where we know capitalism doesn't work. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. A soul activation, a heart call is in working with nature. Can we all spend 2019 working in nature? This is turning into such an informal chit chat, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty much here in my thermal, so let's go at it, okay? 2019, can we please be more aware of the fact that capitalism is bullshit? Materialistic society does not work for shit. We need to sacrifice all of this nonsense. AI will come and kill you. If you're not careful, don't take it too far. Let's go back to naturalism. Let's go back to our roots. And maybe this is the earth sign in me talking, and I'm sure there is an air sign somewhere like, oh my god, what the fuck is she saying? But, no, really. Okay, let's stop with it. It's getting a bit dangerous. It's getting a bit out of hand. Materialism doesn't work. We know this. Okay? It is time to go back to not eating meat. Not letting these supermarkets and these shopping centers, these outrageously massive shopping centers, just take over. Why? No one's even got any more money anymore because governments are taxing everything so highly. It's so expensive to live. What do you need all these shopping centers for? Take your kids to the forest. Spend some more time yourself in the forest. Get some pets. Don't feed them crap. Don't feed your kids crap. Don't feed yourself crap. It fucks with your hormones, and I wish a lot of people knew this. The chicken that you're eating is full of hormones that's going to fuck with your brain in a lot more ways than you'd think. Do more research into what you're eating. Eat organic. Grow your own. One thing I'm really, really looking forward to is having my own garden. And I'm going to be growing, inshallah, so much of my own stuff. And this is something I would do as a kid, and I loved it. And I wish teachers in schools nowadays would get kids away from these computers and all of this, irrelevant garbage information, and actually take them out to the fields and show them how to grow stuff. There's nothing more gratifying. Grow stuff. Grow stuff. Grow an emotional attachment to your plants. I love plants. My plants are my babies. They're at my mom's house. I hope she hasn't killed them. I don't think she has. Let it break you, and it will, is basically my point. Emotional attachment, being emotionally intelligent, knowing where it is that you need to act on intelligence over emotion is a key thing for me for this year. Wow. So much heart gets wasted, so much energy gets wasted on things that are so irrelevant, that if you are to use that, and this is me talking to myself, that if I am to use that energy in the right direction, in a better direction, I would get so much more done. 2019, that's such a big thing for me. Let it break you, and it will. I don't want to tell you, break it. Don't break it. Just manage your energies wiser. Stop hurting each other. Stop hurting the world. Let's love each other, huh? Let's love each other a lot more. Let's do that. The darker it gets, the better your night vision works. What a lesson for November. That really was a lesson for November. If the darkness comes and you find no way out of it, adjust your night vision. Learn to see in the dark. Learn to understand who is what and what is for what. There have been some really dark places in November. This 2018, there were some seriously dark places. I think that was all that, Venus retrograde and Scorpio as well, and that Mars retrograde action was just bizarre. That was crazy. But really, work on your night vision. And I don't mean, literal night vision. I mean, being able to see through the dark. Close your eyes, use that third eye. Decalcify that third eye. Stop eating meat. And I say this to Virgos all the time. Virgos can't eat meat. You guys won't digest that shit. If you're fat in the gut, ask yourself why. True story. I think before I get into pulling any tarot cards, I think it's perhaps for me to end my musings on my outcome of 2018 and the shenanigans at Gatwick Airport and not knowing where any of my stuff is and sitting here on YouTube with my thermal. Everything will always work out for the best and fall into place. It really will. Just trust. Trust it'll work out, and I promise you 99.9999999% of the time it will. Just trust. Work on that trust. Where is that trust? Maybe if we're better to each other in 2019, we might start trusting each other better as well, learning to trust. Why don't we start with self? Learn to trust yourself before you even project anything on anybody else. Before you even expect anything. Expect nothing from no one. Just put your best foot out there. Do your best thing. Make your best self. Try your best everything. Give your best love. And if it's not reciprocated, I promise you the universe will find another way of fulfilling you with it. Fulfilling you with something. Perhaps what you need at the time. Maybe not what you think you need. But I think God knows best. Should pull some cards. I decided I am going to use my favorite deck. Well, one of my favorite decks. It is The Magical Messages from the Fairies Oracle Cards by Doreen Virtue. I love this deck. I think I'm going to pull 3. We'll pull 3. I did a lot of relaxation work for my cards in Tenerife. I was in, where was I? La Laguna, Santa Cruz, both so pretty. I would so recommend them to anyone. Tenerife is a fabulous island. Do go and visit it. I'm going to pull 3 cards, past, present, and future. And I think we will just muse over those ponderings for a little bit. This video has gone on for a lot longer than I thought it would. I hope you don't mind how informal it is. You guys are so welcome to the Hermit's house anytime. And I hope that, if nothing else, we've developed like a family relationship, you know, on this little channel of mine. And I'm so grateful, so grateful. You guys have kept me going through a lot of tricky shit. And I'm not one of those fake people that can just put on a fake smile and just... I'll carry on if I have to, but if there's something up with me, you'll know there's something up. And I have no shame in my game. So if I'm unhappy about something, I will tell you about it. But thank you guys for sticking by me through everything and wishing me, like, just so much positivity and love. God bless each and every one of you, and I hope you all have a fantastic 2019. I know it's going to be exceptional. So, here we go. Past, I have children. Present, I have marriage. And future, I have spring. So, I think this kind of touches on what I was saying about how we can do a better thing to, how we can better ourselves to better our environment, and how important it is for our environment in order to survive. I have here children. If we can make an active start with them, I know that not everyone can reform the Trumps of the world. Maybe they're too old and ignorant to actually be able to change. But if we can start with our children, your connection with children is part of your life's purpose. And it's always important to maintain that. It is so integral, I think, in history, in society, where we are right now, to make sure that we are influencing our child to do children and the children of those around us to do the right thing by nature, to do the right thing by the earth, by charity, by the devastations that are being caused in the world, by the political devastations that are going on. It has never been more important a time to make sure that the things that we are teaching our children are of integrity, are of kindness, are of internal wealth. Because those are the things of true value. Those are the things that we will carry forward, okay? We do not want to live in a dystopia. And if we are to continue with... if we are to continue with blunting the minds of our children, like dulling them down, we are not going to create a species that is civilized or intelligent enough to understand why it is that these natural devastations that are going on at the time being need to come to an end. And yes, I am an activist, and yes, I don't agree with what is going on with China, and yes, I don't agree with the palm oil, and yes, I don't agree with, you know, poaching, and yes, I don't agree with whatever, but it has never been more of an important time for us to recognize that there is so much wrong going on in the world that if we are not teaching our children the right, we are not really going to get anywhere. We're not really going to survive this. They're not going to survive this. We're not going to survive this. And it is more important that we survive. Okay? We are all as important as each other. There shouldn't be some sort of elitist class system in the world, which means that some people are surviving, others are just becoming extinct. Like the most beautiful animal, like when the news came out this year that those rhinos became extinct, like my heart broke. Like, how dare anybody do that? Like, and these poachers, I want to reach out to you. Like, if you're a hunter, if you are hunting animals, what makes you think that that karma is not going to come back to you? What are you doing? Where is your soul? Activate your soul. Find your soul. You need your soul to survive. This is just a meat suit. This is gonna die. Do you know what I mean? It is what is inside this that is actually serving a purpose towards something. And if you're not even aware of that, then you've got a lot of education that you need to learn. You need to grow up, educate yourself. This is nothing but a meat suit. Instant gratification or gratification from like disgusting means of pleasure doesn't amount to anything. Study. Marriage. The fairies join you in celebrating wedded bliss. Marry yourself first. I think a lot of relationships and a lot of couples that I know are headed towards marriage. Congratulations to you guys. I will look forward to that. But marry yourself. Be committed to yourself. Be honest. Be dedicated. When you master all of that, I think you'll find it super easy for another person to just fall into your life. Because at that point, the universe is opening its doors. Because you have opened your heart doors. Vibrations meet vibrations. Make sure you are at that vibration, at that frequency of the partner you desire. And you know what? Things don't always arrive in the packages that you want them to. Don't overlook a diamond just because it ain't been cut yet. Spring. Your desires fully manifest as the flowers begin to bloom. Springtime. Creation. How interesting. We're just coming into the winter solstice. Let me get this card. Your desires fully begin to manifest as the flowers bloom. Do you know flower therapy is so important? I think it's very important for us to grow flowers. Create initiations. Create a spring in your mind. Let winter take its course. Let 2018 have been a winter to shut down any outdated modes of thinking. Let yourself become fully yourself, encased in yourself, engulfed in your ideas of positive forward movement, in growth, in development, in creation, in light, in life, in the sun. And let those New Year's resolutions that you would have set out on the Sagittarius new moon, allow yourself a bit of freedom, to give yourself a bit of progress time, a little bit of move time. Don't expect instant results. Nothing substantial comes quickly. And forgive yourself if you're so hard on yourself like I am. Like, I need to get this done right now. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. The springtime is a time of creation. And use your mind now, I think, to prepare, to plan, to see where it is that you want to go, to see where it is that you want to be. Prepare and plan, and there's nothing that can align you with there is nothing that can get you on track with manifesting and the law of creation, all of that stuff, better than a sense of direction, and better than knowing where it is you want to go, knowing it, like, just the ins and outs. You need to become obsessed with that thing. Like, I want to do this thing. You need to become obsessed with it. Planning, preparation, growth, development will all happen within the space of fruition, creation, creativity, development. Give yourself the opportunity to see yourself as fertile ground. And my throat is getting so dry now. And give yourself, how do people talk this much? Give yourself the time to just be fertile ground. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. Get to the gym. De-weed. Weed all of the bad stuff. Let it out. Detoxify. Cleanse. When you start with a blank canvas, anything can happen. You can literally do anything you want. So it is important for you to declutter, get rid of the weeds, get rid of all of the bad energies, the bad stigmas, all the rest of it. Get rid of it all. Let it be going. Start with a blank canvas, regardless of where you are in your journey. Let this full moon be that for you. Get over whatever it was, get over whatever it did. Don't let it hurt anymore. Weed out the ghosts. Air out the closets. Throw out the garbage. I think that's all I have to say, other than have a Merry Christmas. I think I will catch you guys again before the end of the new year. We'll probably do like some New Year predictions, readings, something along those lines. Have a beautiful, beautiful Cancer full moon. Sorry for the state of this reading, but God bless. Thank you, and I shall see you all again soon.